Okay, so indeed it's the home stretch, and our artist of the week is a versatile entertainer. He's born in Lagos but hails from Ekiti State. He's a graduate of accounting with an MBA in international business from Oxford University in the United States. Join me in welcoming Herbegbeyin. You will spell that Herbegbeyin.
No, there's H there. Herbegbeyin.
Herbegbeyin.
Just
Okay.
Herbegbeyin.
Sorry. Herbegbeyin.
But his real name is Adeniran
Yes,
Oyewole. Good
Yes,
to have you here. He's a comedian, he's a music director, MC, only you everywhere. Your hand everywhere.
That's why my catchphrase is, my name is Herbegbeyin, your favorite MC, your favorite comedian, and of course, your favorite music director. You see this work, I sabi am.
You sabi am. Good to have you here. You sabi am.
It's a pleasure.
In this economy, you sabi every. Put your hand here so that all go join, right?
Let's just say it's not my fault. You know, it's just about working on the talent that God has given you. And there's something very unique about talent. When you work on it and you develop it, it multiplies, because one thing will lead to the other.
In this area, and you were going to do accounting.
I also have a flair for accounting. You know, I have always wanted to be an accountant. So in the journey of becoming an accountant, I did not just stick due to that. I started upgrading myself in the other areas too.
You're accounting comedy, you're accounting music directing,
you will be doing your accounts yourself. You don't need to employ an accountant.
So it will be very difficult for me to be scammed financially, because any staff working with me will know that I'm good with figures.
You know what time it is when it comes to the money.
Exactly, ma'am.
So you left accounting and came into comedy. Comedy first, or music directing, or which one came first?
All of them started, but I would say in the hierarchy of how I became professional at those things. Music directing, I've been directing music professionally since 2007. That's just like 2 years ago, you know.
By someone who knows accounting, accounting for years like that. That's okay.
And I also, you know, became a professional MC comedian since 2010. So it's been over a decade for both, and I thank God for where we are today.
Yes. How has the industry been?
Well, I will say that the industry is filled with a lot of lessons. In fact, the entertainment industry is an institution on its own that people need to understand. There are times where you need to find your feet around the industry, you know what works, know what does not work. You know, for example, I am a close friend with Ashiri, a very great friend and brother, and I celebrate him everywhere I go to. You know, he drops these quotes daily, and there's one that usually, you know, stick with me. He said, for you to speak to the kings, you need to understand the language of the palace. And that's what the entertainment industry is about. You know, I wouldn't say it's challenging, because I have learned not to trust anyone or see anyone as a ladder. I can learn from anybody. I learn a lot from people. Sometimes we even pay to attend conferences to know the best way to go about it. But it is not about now seeing them as your escape routes, because most of the things that we have in the industry now is that people just want someone that they can climb on their shoulder. And once they climb on that shoulder, they kick that person. Well, it is not bad if you don't kick the face of that person after climbing their shoulders. It should be, you know, a continuous cycle of help. But when it is now a situation of you just finding your way around, being desperate, let me use that word, that means you don't want to grow, you just want to jump up. And when you grow up, you stay up. When you jump up, at that same speed, you'll come down.
I don't know how to put this.
Okay.
The industry
has
grown by leaps and bounds in Nigeria.
Yes.
Because when I was in public relations, where we were using the services of comedians fairly regularly, the pool we chose from was so little.
True.
But now, there's a sea or even an ocean of them.
Yeah, very correct.
Is the place not rather saturated? Or there's still enough work for everybody?
I would say, first, the industry is saturated now. That is very correct, because just like any other business that is prospering, you'll have a lot of people that want to come in. And
even if they don't have the talent?
Even if they don't have the talent, which is not good. If you have the talent, yes, you would even still need to upgrade on it and learn, go for trainings, which some of us do regularly.
Alibaba has a huge library.
Yes, he has it. And Alibaba is someone that has been a blessing to the industry. He's selfless. Every opportunity he has to, put us through, train us. I've attended a couple of, trainings that he held. And I can tell you for a fact, in fact, when I was planning my last show at Terra Culture, it was his training, one of his classes that I attended, that gave me the roadmap, because I had the privilege of one-on-one with him. And I'm like, this one will not waste. I have to maximize. And, just right there and then, I asked him some questions. And he went to the board, drew a chart, this. It was as if he saw the show before me planning it. And that was just it. So on that note, there's a lot of people coming in. Some of them actually heard about the money part that you said, and they're like, wow, really? That's why, today it's sad that once somebody has a mobile phone and ring lights, they will say, they are professional comedians without experience, Some of them will even get to the stage and the crowd will be like, where is this one from? I beg, leave our stage. So I would say that it is saturated because of the benefits that are now, showing up. You can see comedians now appearing on billboards as endorsed brands and stuff.
It's not only billboards. We have
that's just an example. So I would say that is the motivation for some people. But for some others, they actually know what it is about. They know the sacrifices to be paid. Before you get to that point where you will be charging in 6 digits, 7 digits, you have to go through the process. And I am happy that I'm not there yet, but at least I'm learning as I'm growing.
You're getting there.
In the process, yes. It's not far anymore, but
it's not far.
So, yes. Your jokes, how did they come about? So, some of your the people in your industry will say, it's either when they are here or when they are there. For you?
Yeah, as a comedian, every professional comedian should have a skill. They should develop their skill of spontaneity.
Comedian.
Yes, professional.
We'll come back to that.
They should develop their skill of being spontaneous. Sometimes you have your script, you have your jokes arranged, written by you. But when you're on the stage, the experience is usually different from when you're practicing. And that's where your spontaneity skill comes in. Sometimes that spontaneity will even make you appear more funnier than you have planned, because the art of, analyzing your audience, know how to talk to them. The way I'm going to perform for a gathering of, let's say, managing directors, CEOs, it will be different from the way I'll perform to students, because I understand the language of CEOs. I understand the language of students. So there are ways you make your delivery.
Tailored to the
so
audience.
My jokes are, I remembered, anchoring an event for lawyers. It's a surprise birthday party, and like 90% of everyone in the room, we have SAN, we have baristas. So I know I have to, speak their language, even as I'm cracking jokes. It has to, so I had to write a joke for that setting. I could still remember, accusing the most senior person in the room, and I'm like, sir, I love your job and everything, but there's something I don't like. When people collect money from your clients, in the court, you are so proud of that person. My client. But the moment they sentence that person to maybe 25 years in imprisonment, and the client goes back to you that, where do we go from here? You say, why not? I go back to my office, you go to the prison. I'm like, why are you switching sides? So, sometimes like that, we have to pattern it for. Then when you perform at comedy shows, that you have a mixed audience. You have your prospective clients there. So you have to bring up your A game, make sure you're organized. And one thing for me is that I believe that your background, your beliefs also form a basis for your jokes. It is difficult for some people to crack some kind of jokes because of their core values, because of what they believe in. So they would rather not go that route. They will still stand firm and, deliver their jokes. you know, people like different things. So those who like their kind of performances would go for them. And that's why comedy show is usually a mixture of, if you don't like this kind of comedian, you will like this one. If you don't like this one, you will like this one. And that's why, you know, and all that spice actually brings, you know, a class to the event, and it makes it interesting.
What has been your main challenge since you became a comedian?
Oh, that question is deep. I would say that the main challenge is, despite the fact that the industry is growing, you know, we still need more support from corporate organizations. You know, I would say the main challenge is
in what
that,
way?
Yes, I'm coming to that. So the reason why I said that is that some of the things that makes a comedian, you know, a force to reckon with is support that he gets to organize, to create his own platform that will be standard. For example, if you're a good comedian and you have been, you know, attending many shows, you have been gracing, your respect will not be stamped until you can organize your own show. Sometimes they call it comedy special. You know, if I attend your show, man, let's assume for a minute that you're a comedian. Please help me give her a very wonderful name, a brand name.
Let me clap for her.
So if I'm coming...
Hakobi.
Harakobi, ladies and gentlemen. So if I'm coming to your show, I am restricted by time because there are other acts that will perform.
Yes.
I'm likely going to have maybe between 7 minutes and 10 minutes to perform at your show. And that would be that I'm not even giving the audience at least 30% of what I can offer.
Yeah.
But when I am having my show, I have the power to determine how long I spend on stage.
Of course.
That's why you see comedians tell you that this show, I'm spending 60 minutes, I'm spending 180 minutes, because they know it's their show. But sometimes they are good, they have ticked the boxes, but when it comes to what will make it happen, that is the financial resources. We tilt towards, you know, corporate organizations, you know, coming on board and helping us. And I face that challenge too. It's even for big brands, they will still tell you they need sponsorship. Even if you talk to the A class in the industry, they will still say, oh, and you can never approach them and say, do you care for this support? And they will say, no, everybody needs support. But in hierarchy of interest now, I think some of them are enjoying more than some who do not really have that support. So I would say finance might be a challenge in that aspect. But other challenges could be, you know, I don't know of other industries, but I know in the entertainment industry, those who, you know, are good, stand out, some of them still have this class. You made mention of a pool that is very limited when, you know, all this thing became a business formally. But now it has grown to the point where, you know, we have different clans. It is not pronounced, but it is the reality.
But you all know.
Within the comedian
Within the comedians,
space.
we know that despite the fact that I know this person knows me, if I want to have my event now, I might not approach that person because I know that there is high probability that this person will not attend my show. And the integrity of my brand is at stake. I can't put a face on the poster, and on that day, the face does not appear. It seems like fraud. So, and when you see experiences from A, B, C, you tend to just tilt, and that is not to say that's the general thing. I especially appreciate some very disciplined comedians that even if they know you or not, as long as you're doing well in the industry, in your own lane, if they are free, they will support you. And that is why people like Ali Baba, you know, Wole Arole, Ashiri, and some other comedians like that will continue to become, to remain relevant, because Ali Baba does not do, I belong to Peter, I belong to Paul. He attends to issues as they come. And that's one of the reasons where anywhere he is in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, he can walk with his head high, because people would always revere him that, no, this man is very supportive and all. Okay,
you've been talking about comedy more.
Yes.
There's a part of music directing.
Yes.
And then the part of MC. Which one do you do more?
I do all, you know, you don't, it's about preference.
Okay, so
you know,
depending on where the work is coming from.
I heard Doctor talking about you planning yourself very well. So we plan ourselves very well. For emceeing events now.
Are we seeing you on air now? Is that you or your...
Somebody got this for me.
Oh, is that you? You're
looking so hungry.
Yeah. Do you also sing?
Yes, I do, of course. As a music director, I write songs. I write songs for people. I sing. I play
Only you.
They got me on this one, actually.
Okay. Wow. Herbegbeyin. Okay, so you make money from all of this.
By the special
we really need to go now. What would you leave with us?
So
quickly.
I would say that, very quickly on that, I fusion my music skill into my emceeing for concerts and all of that. And that's why you have that. So I'm a bit of, in fact, my shows are captioned Herbegbeyin Undiluted. So you get to see every part of me. But I would say that first, thank you so much for having me on this show. I would always be grateful for that privilege. And second, there is nowhere we want to get to in life when we trust God, when we hold on to Him, and we take our work seriously, when we commit ourselves to constant development.
We'll get there. Thank you so much. We've been having a chat with Adeniro Yewole,
yes,
popularly known as Herbegbeyin. He's a comedian, music director, and MC.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
And Herbegbeyin closes Sunrise for this day, the first Saturday in November 2024. We'll bring you a fresh edition next Saturday. I'm Alera Edu, wishing you all the best until then.
And just before we go, just immediately after this sunrise, we'll be going to Imo State for the Synod Lecture at the Church of Nigeria, Egbu Anglican Diocese. And I'd like to say thank you so much for watching Sunrise. I'm Yomi Otaigbe. We'll see you next week.
Bye.